Well, hello, my name's Ben Diamond. I'm one of the non-executive directors from Walsall Healthcare NHS Trust. I'm also the Wellbeing Guardian for Walsall, and so men's health is really important to me. And what I'd like to do today is just spend a couple of minutes of time speaking to you about stress. Stress is something which I think that a lot of men struggle to talk about, and that impacts on health and well-being because people don't open up so much, they don't discuss it. And so I want to talk about an experience that I had in a previous life. I used to work in the fire service. One of my roles was that I was a specialist advisor for hazardous materials or incidents involving chemicals. And one night I had a call to support a police operation. It was about an hour's drive from home, so I'll respond on my own in my car. So I got out, put the blue lights on and started the journey. It was a cold winter's night, very, very busy traffic up the M6 from where I lived. There were roadworks. So all of these things were causing stress to me, which I didn't realise at the time. The type of the incident I was going to caused me some stress. The type of the drive, the blue light drive in those conditions, caused stress. When I arrived at the incident, I hadn't been fully briefed on the exact circumstances, but during the drive I'd received a telephone call from a scientist at Porton Down talking about the nature of the chemicals that were involved at this incident. So having that conversation in the car while driving on blue lights in those conditions, unknown to me at the time, caused even more stress to me. And the way stress works, I'm sure you're aware, is that it builds up in you cumulatively, so you get more and more piling on top, and then that leaves you less capacity to absorb any further stresses. So I had a briefing at the incident. Another thing which added to my stress was I saw a television crew there who I knew were going to want to speak to me after I'd dealt with or provided the advice that I could to the police that were there. So they got me dressed up in forensic suit and all of that, signed into the incident ground and explained to me where to go. And I walked up an alleyway between some houses. They directed me to turn right into the rear entrance of this house, which was a kitchen, and I was confronted with the scene of this incident. I didn't actually know what I was going to be walking into, but suffice it to say, what I saw when I walked in there added tremendously to the stress that I was feeling, and actually took me over the threshold of the stress that I could absorb. However, I guess adrenaline is working in that sort of a situation, and I was able to deal with the incident, go through all the things I needed to do, brief everybody afterwards, and the incident was dealt with. What I then did, went back to my car. It was time, the incident was over, time to go back home. Sat in my car and just started crying. I spent 10 minutes sat in my car. Once I was in a private location. I can actually feel it now, just recounting the situation is bringing back memories of that night. Now you might wonder why I'm telling you this. The reason I'm telling you is that we're all human beings. None of us are so masculine, so macho that we don't feel it. Of course, there's other things at play which cause people to not want to accept and deal with the stresses that they're feeling. Sometimes people are very highly qualified, very professional, very senior in their organisation, and these are all pressures that cause people, they put extra pressure on people to stop them actually confronting the stress that they're feeling and dealing with it properly. So those stresses build up in you and eventually it breaks. We're all human beings and that's what happens. Now the reason I'm talking to you about this specifically now is that incident I went to only lasted probably 5 or 6 hours. So from the start of causing me this stress to it actually bubbling over was only that period of time. All of you people who work in the NHS, tremendous work you've been doing for more than the last year has caused stress, huge amounts of stress, which has been building up in many, many people. And people haven't had the time to release that stress, for it to come back down again, to allow the hormones to subside in our systems. So people are at a point where just a small amount of additional stress can actually damage people, cause them lasting harm. So what I want to just instill in you all is none of you are too masculine, too macho, or even too senior or too highly qualified to be the victim of this. You really must understand that help is there for you. There's lots of support services. Please use them. And just every now and again, you might need to go in a room and have a cry. Speak to your family, speak to friends, colleagues, speak to whoever you can, because bottling it up inside is no good for anybody. Please just speak about it, get the help that you need, and we can all move on. Thank you.